Hi, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. This is Mose and Wraith with Signal Warden and Shiggy.
Hello, Pooh!
Repeat?
And what?
The signal.
Candy, bubblegum and taffy.
And I guess that's it.
You can
What have you
actually,
got going on?
We'll see you guys next
you
time.
can actually hear the frustration. It's palpable coming through Mosen's voice. He's like, "Those assholes made me do the intro, and then deliberately fucked it up.
Yeah.
I am not sorry for that."
Yeah. Pretty much.
Anyhow, how's everyone
I should
doing
be
this
used to it
week?
for now.
You okay, Mosen? Did we screw you up? Are you bright red over there?
Which probably is.
This is why we need webcams.
I can't wait till we switch to video. It's gonna be
Exactly.
beautiful.
Oh, God. I hate you.
Anyhow,
Signal.
da.
Let's start with you since you did jack shit this week. What did you do this week?
Jack shit. No, this has been a really rough week for me to get anything done. I think I posted like 2 videos and they were of the same game. I haven't been able to post anything this week. I'm looking for an apartment, so it's taken up all my time between that and work. Yeah, outside of that, I've just been playing, some random games. Bomber Mine, Blade Symphony, of course. Super House of Dead Ninjas, Bridge, which was fantastic.
Is it? I was looking at that game and debating.
Yeah, that game is pretty fucking boss. What the hell else have I been doing this week? I had some pizza.
What kind of pizza?
Plain, good pizza. Sometimes you just gotta let it lie.
Oh, okay.
I know I did something else this week, and I'm sure it was good, but I can't recall what the hell it was.
Were you drunk?
No, I haven't drank this week, which is
I was
fucking
drunk.
weird. Yeah, well, you live in the Midwest. No, I honestly, there was something else I did this week. It is completely gone. I have no idea what the hell it was now. I haven't even really played that much Path of Exile this week, which tells you I just haven't been playing. Yeah, it's been a really light week. Most of my gaming this week has been relegated to my Game Boy Color.
That's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, and I played Bomber Mine. I don't know if I said that too. I was playing.
Yeah, what is that? I was going to ask you.
Bomber Mine is really cool. It's Bomberman. It's basically Bomberman, but it's a Bomberman MMO kind of thing.
Oh, I saw something on this with like 1,000 players or something.
Yeah. You basically play on a giant Bomberman map with a shit ton of people, and you try and kill each other.
Sounds like it would be extremely hectic.
It is. I cut my teeth playing Wario Blast for the multiplayer stuff on that. So like it's kind of like Wario Blast with the speed cranked up. It's a fun little game. I don't know if I'd go so far as to call it like a great game or a good game.
Is it one of those casual sit down, play it for 10 minutes?
It's practically like a flash time waster.
iPhone poop game?
Well, I mean, it's a browser game. For right now, they're trying to expand it, but like it's a fun game to just kill some time. It's not with like the higher echelon of time wasters, like Robot Unicorn Attack or anything.
Oh yeah,
But,
that
like,
game looked amazing.
Robot Unicorn Attack is one of the greatest games of all time. I play that regularly when I'm trying to.
Wait,
kill
is that a
time.
real game?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
You were
It's been out for a few years.
I
There's
have to
Robot
go.
Unicorn Attack. There's I can't remember what it's called, but there's a death metal version, and I have it on my Android phone. Like I play it all the time. My wife even has it on her phone. Like it's amazing, and the soundtrack is what really does it. Yes, that's.
I
thank you.
linked it in the Twitch chat.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys go play that after the podcast.
Yeah, because you need to pay attention to the soundtrack in that game. And when I say soundtrack, I mean single song that's repeated over and over again.
That's very easily gets stuck in your head and makes you want to sing and dance.
Oh yes.
Like,
Mosin.
yo,
Have you done anything outside of League and Guild Wars this week?
you say that lyric like you're expecting a different answer.
I'm just keeping up my hopes, I guess. That you expand your gaming horizons a little bit. Anything at all? Shitty
No,
Flash game?
Not really. And I'm fairly sure watching a playthrough of the path isn't going to count for doing anything different. Which
Android game while you were taking a crap?
No.
Nothing.
Well,
Wow.
we just have the.
At least you know what you
To
like.
be fair, we did have the big the Flame and the Frost, the Gathering Storm patch update for Guild Wars that fixed and
you've been telling us about that for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I was supposed to talk about it last time, but we got distracted about Diablo 3 and PS4.
Well,
So
in all fairness,
yeah.
Diablo 3 is bad. Next topic. I have been playing a lot this week. Just on my channel alone, I did a new game called Megabyte Punch. I played some Secret House of Dead Ninjas, and I played some Omerta City of Gangsters. All three of which were really fucking fun games. I also played a couple betas. I got into the SimCIty beta for a whole hour, which 45 minutes of which was tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a sad point in my day. I wanted to play it more.
Dude, the soundtrack for that Omerta game is fucking phenomenal.
I know, dude. I could not stop listening to it.
Like, and honestly, like, I can't, like, when I watched that, I was like, I can't wait to post my quick play for Dawnstar, because the music is just as good. And like, I did the exact same thing you did, where I just like, there was a point where I was like, oh, I'm at the menu screen, I'm just gonna let this play for a little while. I can just let this jazz play for a little while. It was awesome. Like, the music is so good.
Well, that's why I started my Omerta video. I gave it like 30 seconds of soundtrack before I said a damn thing in that video.
Yeah, like I started talking, and then I was just like, we're gonna listen to the soundtrack for a little bit. And I just listened to the soundtrack for a little bit. I'm like, you're all gonna fucking sit here, and we're gonna deal with this, and you're gonna bob your head and go, my life is a little better now, because yay, awesome jazz soundtracks.
See, I was thinking that a lot of people were going to start watching that and be like, oh, fuck, he forgot to talk.
No, like, I as soon as you started talking, I was like, and play from beginning.
Yep. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
I'm going to
like,
start that over.
The music is nice and all, but God, I just couldn't fucking hear you speak. No, it was like, honestly, the music is great. And I was just like, oh, I gotta play this from the beginning. You got to play some SimCIty this week too, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm fucking envious.
That's what I was talking about. I said I got to play I got an hour of the beta, and 45 minutes of which was
I'm saying I'm jealous,
tutorial.
and I hate you.
That's too fucking bad.
It's not too bad.
That game's fucking fun, though. I played just enough of it to be able to really understand what they changed in that game and why it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, there was actually I was watching some discussion on that. Reading. Hi. I was watching words fly by my screen and collecting information from them, and that information pertained to SimCIty. And one of the things that one of the creators were saying was that the city zone that you have feels a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, there's a reason.
So, well, they're gonna expand it a little bit.
Oh, nice.
And make it so that your playable area is a little bigger. And I mean, I can understand, like, from watching the playthroughs of it that I saw, like, there is the good point to bring up. Like, his whole thing was the reason that they made it so small.
You're supposed to rely on other cities, right?
Well, no, it wasn't just that. Like, it was because it helped you deal with traffic and utilities better.
Oh, okay.
But the problem that he noticed that he was having, and he noticed that other people were having as well, is that it was way too often that you had to destroy residential areas to put new stuff down, and it was causing bottlenecks in getting your population up, your worker population up.
Yeah.
So they want to expand it a little bit, but they have no idea when that's coming.
Basically, that hits on, like, SimCity is one of the big topics I want to get into today because I'm really fucking excited for that game, and it comes out in 3 days.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I can't wait.
So,
Shit out of that game.
like, you know how a lot of sequels will try and cater to a more casual audience and simplify their game a lot?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they take it too far and take away a lot of the strategic aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me like the way that SimCity did it is they pretty much simplified it in every fucking perfect way, while still keeping just as much difficulty.
Yeah, I think from what I could see is they basically kept all the elements in. They just really cleaned up the UI and made
Exactly.
the in-game as you play tutorial a lot better. There's not a lot of how the fuck do I do this moments.
Yeah, and the old SimCities were kind of like, what the fuck did I forget to put down? What are people going to be bitching at me about in 15 minutes? This, it's more of, alright, it's really good at telling me what do I need to build. Now I need to figure out how to balance everything.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of open play to it. I don't know. I'm not speaking from experience, so anything I say is just going to be bullshit conjecture. It's like, who the fuck's to say?
I don't know. All I know is
Well, the
that
one
it's...
thing that I'm actually really interested in about it is what you were telling me earlier, Shay, with the way the online multiplayer worked,
Yeah.
and that we could actually rely on each other to provide different things for our different cities.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When you have multiple... You start off in a region, which in the beta was only 3 cities, but I've seen some screenshots leaked that showed like 7 cities in a region and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it can expand a lot further beyond that probably. The one thing that was really awesome was like each city has different resources available to them. Like one might have a ton of coal underneath of it. Another one might be on the water, so it has a huge water and wind supply. So you can get more out of like wind power plants and stuff. But like in the oil city, you can build your entire town around dirty industry and have like a ton of fucking jobs. And all the people could pretty much live on the beaches in another city and commute across the highway to your city in order to have jobs there. It's like just one of the examples.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, there's the whole thing like with nuclear power too, right?
What about it?
That's one of your options to avoid using resources.
What's that? Sorry.
That's one of your options to avoid using resources.
Is to what?
Is nuclear power?
I'm not sure. I didn't get to that point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like apparently there's a whole thing where like once you get a certain like level of skilled workers, you can use nuclear power, but if you don't have the skilled workers, you risk a nuclear meltdown.
That's fucking awesome. So like you could have a nuclear power plant effectively in a university town where you very much stress education. Is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I mean, either way, there's a lot of fun dynamics to the game. Like I said,
But
until
the
I play it, I
power
can't really
plant-
say for sure.
Could the power plant blow up, bathe the city in nuclear waste, and
Yes.
lay everybody's superheroes?
Yeah, I mean, just like
There
other
actually
sim games,
is-
there's like a lot of natural disasters and other disasters that could fuck up your cities.
I'm gonna go into this really quick since Mosin just mentioned it. They did actually add a superhero base that you can build.
Yeah, you get the superhero and the
That's
supervillain, right?
awesome.
Yeah. So you can have a superhero living in your town and a supervillain.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
See, I don't know how I feel about stuff like that. Like, it's cool
I
that it's
think
in
since
there
it's
and
an
like
option, it's fine. If it was
yeah, and
forced on you,
there's
that
a
would
lot of
suck.
people that like really dig that stuff, so I'm not gonna like say they shouldn't do it.
Now, like
Like
if
people
they
enjoy
have-
it, they enjoy it. But when I play like a SimCity game, and this is one of the reasons that like I stopped playing The Sims when it first came out. When I play a SimCity game, and this is gonna sound really, really weird, but whatever, I don't fucking care. There's kind of a god complex to it, where like I want to control something that's as close to a facsimile of real life as I can get.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And when you start throwing like superheroes and shit, and like I said, that's what killed The Sims for me. Like, as soon as you started, it's like, oh yeah, no, you could live your entire life as a clown with a clown house, and there's ghosts, and all of a sudden, yeah, look, you can get zombies, and why don't you become a robot? It's like, this is not the game I wanted to play anymore. And even though I don't have to create those characters, I now have to interact with them. And it's like, I don't want my fucking Sims to be interacting with robots.
So, like, say you don't want to be having a city and then some other fucking region sends their superhero to help you in a meteor crisis.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm doing a city, and then like 2 expansions down the road, it's like, oh, I have to start importing fucking slushy materials to fuel this slushy power plant. It's like,
I kind of want to slushy the power plant.
it's just like, and like that's the thing, like it's fun and all, but like once those games start getting to that point, I play them for a brief period of time where my entire goal is I'm going to lay waste to everything. Like, that's what happened with The Sims. It just became like, how can I kill everybody in this house today? And it starts with like, oh, I'm gonna, get everybody inside the house, remove all the doors, and set the house on fire. And once you get to that point, it's like, I'm not gonna be picking this game back up.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
as soon as you enter the first cheat code in Sims, you never play it again.
Yeah, and the Sims have gone so far down that pipe at this point. Like, they have like Katy Perry fucking expansion sets and shit. And like,
Hey, does anybody legit know how much it would cost to buy Sims 3 right now and get the full experience?
Sims 3? I think I have Sims 3.
No, I mean the entire, like, get the full experience, all expansion packs.
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm going to see if I can look that up while you talk about this.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a set, like, where you buy, like, all of the Sims.
Let's see. Sims 3 is still listed at $30 on Steam. And it has 16 expansion packs.
Jesus Christ.
That end up, add all DLC to cart. $379.84.
What?
Plus $30 to buy the Sims 3 base.
For clothes. For clothes. You're buying mostly clothes and, like, different kinds of bushes.
Oh, they do have a 70s, 80s, and 90s pack, which sounds cool. But never mind, it's all clothes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
like the Sims expansion packs are 99% cosmetic with, like, maybe one additional function.
I remember in Sims 2, they used, like, with their expansions pack, like, they would add shit like, they would have an expansion pack, like, oh, now you can go to college. And then they would have, now you have pets.
Like,
and then Sims 3 came out, and they're like,
nightclub.
then 3,
like,
Sims 3 Nightclub, they gave you a new town. They gave you apartments now and apartment buildings that you can add to your current custom towns if you want. You can become a vampire. You can start a band.
see, that's what I'm saying. Like, why can you become a vampire? Like, that's just what...
because Twilight came out a few years ago, and everybody wants to be a vampire now.
Yeah, well... Actually, on topic, EA announced, I think it was earlier this week, that they just flat out said all of our games are going to be having microtransactions. Every single game release will be heavily microtransactions.
Is that really surprising?
It's not, but I was
EA
really surprised that they just flat out said, yeah, no, everything we do from now on will have microtransactions.
They didn't say microtransactions so much as they said some form of it, right? So
I don't know, but I know they specifically use the word microtransactions.
I'm assuming that Sims
They're
4, instead of
kind
having
of-
expansion
no.
packs, will just have,
No,
like, buy this shirt.
Actually, they're already kind of doing that with The Sims 3 right now. Is when you load in the game, there's like you have like say you go to the Sims custom screen, you're gonna make up a sim, whatever. You have all of your stuff that already comes with the game, and then like the top row is all buy sim points and unlock this shirt, buy sim points and get this hair. They're already doing it.
Yeah,
with
it's
Sims.
just like...
And I want to say they started that 3 patches ago.
See,
It wasn't
all right,
that
this
long
is
ago that they started
this
doing
is the exact quote from them. It's from Blake Jorgensen, the CFO.
Yeah.
And he says, the next and much bigger piece is microtransactions within games. We're building into all of our games the ability to pay for things along the way, either to get higher level, to buy a new character, to buy a truck, a gun, whatever it might be.
I think what they need to
Consumers
start
are
doing.
enjoying it and embracing that way of business.
I think what they need to start doing then is games need to start coming out at like $10 or $15 instead of $60.
And
That's why they get away with
and
it.
The thing that's kind of hilarious about that, especially in like the case of Sims, there is a huge modding community out there for it, where
Yeah.
you can go get clothes, hair, patch it, like fixes for the bugs that are released with the game.
Yeah, but
that
those aren't
EA doesn't
advertised.
fix. That aren't fixed when they patch. There is a huge community out there that already does that for free with better stuff.
Right. Well, I mean,
So,
But
it
here's
seems
my
kind
problem.
of.
like, here's my problem with it. It's fine and fucking whatever for, like, The Sims and SimCity, whatever. The problem is there's a lot of competitive games that EA makes. You know, like, the fact that you're going to be able to do all these microtransactions for, like, Command and Conquer or Army of Two, you know, like, for, like, any of their racing games.
If they keep
Or-
it cosmetic, I don't care.
Or for fucking Crisis 3. You know, like, and we're talking about EA, who doesn't really have a great track record of preventing the ability for you to buy power.
And if they did that, that game would fucking flop like crazy.
No, it wouldn't, and that's the
Honestly,
fucking problem.
it wouldn't surprise me at all if
Yeah, it
EA
would not.
turned around and switched to a, well, you have to pay more money in order to win at this game.
Yeah, I think there's certain games that would absolutely suffer from it. Basically, anything with like a core PC competitive audience, something like Tribes could never pull that off. If you can buy too much power in Tribes, the community is going to turn on its heels and tell you to fuck yourself. They'll find something else. You know,
And they'll just
Planet
release on
Side-
console, and console gamers will buy it like crazy.
Exactly, but the average console gamer just wants something that they can, you know, fuck around with, and they're much more readily available. You're gonna, gee, I can't even speak today. Fucks. That kind of consumer is much more readily available in the console market, who will say, I just want to buy a bigger gun so I could shoot bitches in the face. Like, and they're less likely to complain about the fact that other people can do the same thing. You know? And like, it's kind of an ugly thing when you really think about it. The fact that console gamers and casual PC gamers are the ones who create this environment that essentially kills the game that they enjoy so much they're willing to pay extra money for. You know, there's no connect to it. And I mean, it's because of the fact that people like us and people who will listen to this podcast and watch our videos and play online with us tend to be people who are aware of what's going on in the gaming industry, that shit doesn't fly. But the average person sees a commercial on fucking Fox for a video game that looks cool, drops their $60, and then goes and plays the game. They don't know that the entire industry is doing this. They don't know
Yeah,
that
you're right.
case after case after case where doing this causes all kinds of problems. You know?
And they see
So-
a new map pack release, they don't realize that it hurts the fucking game. They're like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
hell yeah, more places for me to play.
Yeah, they're like, wait, so if I spend $5, I get this super badass gun that I could just shoot people in the face with and they die instantly and it kills their relatives? Like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do that. But like, they don't realize that it's like, that's really harmful to the game. But most console companies like EA are really short-sighted when it comes to stuff, especially competitive games like that, because they don't really see a market in the competitive games industry. They want to get as many people to buy it, play it, as long as they release the DLCs for it, which now with consoles, you know, the DLCs drop fucking fast. And then
A lot of the
once they're
time.
done, like after 2 or 3 DLCs for their games, they're like, all right, fuck it, we're going to release, you know, the next one.
And then you have fucking Mr. Indie Dev over here releasing new content all the time for free.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, like, again, like Tribes, like Tribes just did a full buy version of the game where you pay a flat fee and you get everything.
That's what it needed. How much is it?
It's $30, $20 if you spent any money in the game prior.
Nice. It's not
Yeah,
bad at
it's
all.
just pretty cool.
That's not bad at all.
But
Imagine if League of Legends did that.
oh my god,
$30, you get
Like-
every champion and every room page.
yeah. But like, one of the things that's cool though is like they keep releasing maps and they keep releasing classes and they keep releasing skins for these classes and new weapons and new modes of play. Like, they're doing this because they're based almost exclusively on microtransactions. You know? So like they have to continue, and that's the thing. Any game that bases itself around microtransactions has to continually release new updates. Whereas most console games are, buy and you're done. You treat console games, and I said this last week, you treat console games like you're watching a movie. And that's not to knock console gamers. I also play consoles. We all do. And I'm not gonna lie, when I play fucking Gears of War, I'm not looking for 5 DLCs. I want to play Gears of War, and then I'm gonna put it away because I'm done. I'll only bust it out to play some multiplayer, and I don't want another gun.
I pretty much only buy cosmetics and DLCs. Just like, only the stuff that I really want, though.
I mean, it depends. Like, there are, like,
Unless,
for RPGs, I'll buy.
let's say,
If I really enjoy the RPG, like the Fallout series, I'll buy every DLC you put in front.
Okay,
You
yeah,
know?
I'll do that too, sorry. I meant to say, like, I was just thinking recently, the only DLC I can think that I've bought is, I bought some skin packs on Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the console. I was like, oh, that'll look cool. Not at all.
I do kind of wish, and I probably should have said this the last podcast, but I really wish there was less focus on how much money a developer could make at a given time, or publisher or whatever. I am so, like, I will play anything that looks remotely fun and interesting. I don't care what it plays on. I don't care whether the PS4 is going to be better than my PC, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm playing the game to play the game, and I wish there was more focus on, what the player is experiencing, how you present that new game mechanic, or how you show off the story, or this really interpretive, artsy way to explain something, and that was what you focused on. And less, how much money can we make off this game by stripping it down to its bare bones before release, and then releasing everything we took away as DLC. Giving people the ability to pay to win. Why has this become such the focus in the industry?
It's
These
not the
games are being
customer's fault at all.
Well, no,
the
it
company's
is.
fault at all. It's because the customers buy it. That's why they keep doing
Well, no,
it.
there's fault there. I think there's fault to go
There's
around.
fault on
Like,
both sides.
I don't
honestly.
blame the developer. If there's anybody that I don't blame the developer. I think this is the relationship that exists between the consumer and the publisher.
Mm-hmm.
And the publishers are the ones who are saying, we need to do it like this. I mean, if you look, most game devs, if you go back and look at their first games, they could have easily turned around and been like, yeah, we're going to, DLC like crazy, and we're going to keep parts away. Most of the time, the first game into the market is an all-in deal because the developer busted their ass for it and then shopped a publisher after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at when you start getting deeper into series, the publisher starts taking the reins. And the publishers are the ones that
Publishers
turn around.
buy the devs out, don't they? And then basically
Oftentimes,
pull them
yeah.
under their wing
Yeah, oftentimes.
and then fire them all.
Because, these games are published by huge corporations. Like, do you think anyone at Sony gives a fuck about anything beyond the bottom line? No. Abso-fucking-lutely not. That's on the devs.
It's like,
That's
does
on the
anybody-
teams that they just want the devs to do what they do, produce a product that looks good at release, and can last long enough for them to get off some DLCs.
Yep. And
It's just
that's a
honest
sad day in
fact.
gaming.
Very
That's
much.
what it is. I mean, that's really what it is. Like,
And that's probably why PC still struggles so much, because PC gamers don't seem to stand for it quite as much.
well, PC gamers don't stand for it as much for two reasons. One, we kind of been playing the DLC game way longer than the consoles have. And two,
We're wise to you.
no, we have a competitive indie market.
Yeah, that's true. That's best part about PC.
Yeah, like, I mean, if there was a competitive indie market on consoles, they wouldn't even dream of trying to get away with the shit they get away with.
Like,
You know?
wasn't there something that said that like Xbox charges you like $10,000 to be able to update your indie game every time you want to fix it?
Well, just to get entry into the market, it's a ridiculous fee. Like,
Yeah. And then every time you want to patch it and update it, you got to pay that over again or something like that.
yeah, like it's ridiculous. Well, I mean, Microsoft's entire online purchase system on every end is fucking archaic and it's stupid and it doesn't work. And like that's going to be the main thing that kills Microsoft because there is so much indie gaming moving into the console market now. And the PlayStation Network just does the job so much better. And like, indie devs aren't going to risk going on Xbox and having to deal with bullshit when they can turn around and go to PlayStation and do it with less hassle, less cost, and have a much more available community base because they don't have to pay for their fucking internet twice.
I think
Like
you've
that-
mentioned that every single podcast.
Well, dude, it's pissed me off since I bought the Xbox 360 on release. Like, I will never forget the feeling of anger that washed over me when I was like, so wait a minute. I pay for high-speed internet, and now I have to pay for the privilege to use the high-speed internet I have.
Pretty much.
What?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that would be like basically that would be like the water company coming in and being like, you have to pay for your water to get to your house. And it's like, all right, I'll pay for my water. And then like the fucking faucet company coming in and being like, oh, you got to pay for the water again because it's coming through the faucet. Sorry. And it's like, what? I bought the faucet. Why the fuck do I have to pay regularly for the water again? They're like, if you want to use our faucet, you got to pay for the water. Like, and what really bugs me about it is Microsoft's argument is that they have to pay for the servers, as if Microsoft is at some point taking a loss if they have to do this. As if Microsoft can't absorb the cost of running servers to keep players online and they will go bankrupt or some bullshit. Because Xbox is really fucking struggling, having the highest console sales of any console of all time.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
The
does.
PS2 is number 1 and the Wii is number 2.
Not worldwide and not since the release.
Yes, it is. I guarantee you.
Okay, I'm sorry, fine. If that's the case, Microsoft is really struggling being the number 2 console of all time. That really put a damper on my argument.
PS2 and Wii.
That's why it's not even fucking worth arguing. Like they have released a retarded amount of those consoles, and they got to sell them twice because the first ones didn't work. So, like, I don't. What am I supposed to do? Like, fucking feel bad because people are asking for them to absorb the cost of the fucking of the servers into fuck.
I got so lucky with my Xbox, with my first Xbox. I bought one on launch day too, and my Xbox got its red ring of death like maybe 2 weeks before my warranty dried up.
Oh, you dick.
Oh, it was beautiful. And they don't send you they send you a brand new Xbox. Like one that was manufactured that month, and it was so much better.
Mine red.
It was
ringed
like
a
10
month
times
after my
quieter.
warranty was up. It red ringed a month after my warranty was up.
That happened with
and
my
then
GameCube.
I repaired it, or I didn't even repair it. I actually left it alone, and then I turned it back on one day, and it was like, I'm okay, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm glad you feel better. And then like about 2 months later, it red ringed again, and then I took it apart and repaired it. But like, it's just everything about the Xbox previous release, like, as a matter of fact, that's kind of what I want to see at fucking E3. I want to see Microsoft come out and just sit down in a chair and like have the CEO of Microsoft sit down in a chair and have a single spotlight come down on him, and he pulls the mic up next to him and goes, "Hey guys, we kind of fucked up a lot. And I'm really sorry for that. Don't leave, baby. I'm not going to do it again. I've learned the error of my ways." And we can end E3 like a fucking romantic comedy, and everything will be better again, and we can walk off down to the fucking beach together holding hands and be happy. But you know what's going to happen? I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. Microsoft's going to sit down and be like, "We're glad you're paying for your internet twice, but now we're going to make you pay to use your internet on the Xbox, and we're going to make you pay again so that you can actually see the internet on your television." So there's two costs now. There's going to be your Xbox Gold, which lets you actually stream stuff to your Xbox, and your Xbox Diamond, which lets you actually see the TV screen. And it's like, they're just going to sit there and they're going to keep raping you until you just surrender and tell them you love them.
And then you have the PlayStation, who has PlayStation Plus, which isn't necessary to play games, gives you free video games every single month.
Yep.
Like, I've gotten so many good games from that. All right, okay, I've got some sales numbers here.
It's not completely fucking spattered with ads.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another problem I have with Xbox Live. Like, Xbox Live looks like a fucking porn site.
All right,
it's just ads everywhere.
I think I have the top 5 console sales here, just so you know. PS2, 155 million lifetime. Nintendo DS, 153 million lifetime.
We're counting handhelds?
Well, it's just one of them, dude.
Yeah.
Wii, 99 million lifetime. Xbox 360, 76 million lifetime.
Okay, stop. Wait. Is this international?
This is...
Because the Xbox sold for
worldwide
shit in Japan.
This is worldwide.
Yeah, the Xbox sold for shit in Japan.
Well, we can't just count America.
Sony absolutely... We can, though. Sony absolutely... Because that's the thing. Like, if Xbox is selling most of their units in the US, they're going to aim towards most of their units being in the US. Like, their model is going to adapt for the US. And the way their model stands right now is basically like, hey, it's only US subscribers using our stuff, which, mind you, puts a lighter load on their fucking servers. And they're like, so, fuck them. So, like, because Japan is their Sony files, they are always going to buy more Sony than Microsoft. It's just the way it's going to be. You cannot include those numbers when making the comparison. Like, especially because of the fact that none of the three of us are in Japan or Europe. So, what the international sales for that are have no bearing on this discussion, because that's not our experience.
Okay, I'll get that up in a second. Because now I'm curious.
You've been curious since I've known you. I've seen you winking at me.
Dude, you've shown me naked pictures of you riding a fucking turtle spike.
Whatever, Turtle liked it. That turtle called me back. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Microsoft just has a knack for finding shitty models and sticking with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do that
It works for them, I mean.
Does it, though? Say? Like,
apparently, they're still doing it.
Yeah, but they win by default most of the time.
Alright, I've got it here. Wait.
To say, just because the model is one that works, doesn't mean it's one that you should do.
Well, it's just, I mean, people are turning to them because they don't have an alternative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, your options are first off, most people get Xbox to play the Xbox exclusives. Like, I guarantee you the majority of people who picked up an Xbox got it to play Halo.
Yep.
You know? Yep. So,
like, they don't really have a choice, and they've done that across their platforms. That's why they suffer so much in the fucking phone market, because there's way too many choices. You know, what? They're not going to lose out to Linux on the PC market. And Apple has never really been a threat, no matter what Apple fans might want to say. You know, like the most college kids are using Macs now. It's like that's great until they get a job. Like, then guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to be listening to iTunes on their Mac while they work on a PC, like the other 45 people in their office. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I think the high watermark for Apple taking on the PC market was something like 4 or 5%. Ooh. Like, they don't fucking care.
They have fucking adamant defenders, though. You want to talk about people defending bad video games? Oh my god, the people who defend apples are impossible.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to even get into that because that's like that can cause so much rage and like I'll just really the quickest summary for my view on that whole thing is apples are not bad machines.
Not at all.
And the argument that you hear a lot of people make is usually false. Where like apples are shitty machines and they're for kids. It's like, no, they're not. Apples are casual machines. They market to the casual market who doesn't want to be fucked with updates, who doesn't want to be dealing with drivers or any of that bullshit, and they do it well. They are overpriced, no question, because they can be.
Hipsters, man, they gotta have computers too.
Well, they know that their market is going to pay a higher premium for the convenience of not having to worry about drivers and not having to deal with aftermarket software and any of that shit.
Meanwhile, I build my own fucking machine and deal with drivers constantly.
Right, exactly. Like, it's one of those things, like, there's a trade-off in the cost, but, like, and the virus argument is just dumb. I'm not going to get into that. Like,
if you get a virus on a PC, you're dumb.
Well, no, it's not.
I don't even have virus protection. I don't get viruses.
It has nothing to do with that. The virus argument for Mac, Linux, and PC, it's like, well, Apple barely gets any viruses. Not none. Anybody that's listening, that's bullshit. Apple does get viruses.
Because people don't write viruses for Apple because it's not as big of a market.
5% of the fucking market. Why would you write a virus for that? Like, it's like, I can get fucking 90% of the market or I can get 5% of the market. Like, of course you're going to get the 90% of the market. Like, of fucking course. So, like, that's a moot point. And it's like, part of me always wished that Apple would explode and they'd take 50% of the market and I would just stand there outside of the Apple store screaming through a megaphone, enjoy your viruses. That's exactly what happened. Especially considering the fucking track record of security that Apple has. And since we're on the topic of Apple, fucking I get the Segway of the Night award. League of Legends has announced their open beta for the fucking Mac client for League of Legends.
I thought you were going to bring up the iBlitz.
No, what? That's stupid.
Does it have to do with announcing for the Mac, releasing the iBlitz?
No.
It happened like on the same day.
I hope not.
They released the iBlitz and they announced Mac, like almost the exact same day.
I can't see how that's related.
They release special skins for other countries when they open servers there, so why not release a special skin?
Oh, do you think we're going to get Australian skins? Ooh.
Don't we have Kate
And
already?
Renekton?
Right. Damn it. Well, no, because they're opening a new office in Australia.
Maybe we'll get some more. Maybe we'll get fucking, I don't know, a Stingray or some shit.
Right. That's fucked up, dude. The man was one of my heroes.
That man was like everybody's hero.
He was. You're like shitting on Santa's chest right now, dude. Don't do that.
He's got a beard to wipe it off
Fuck
with.
you with your Timo skins. Damn it, Waffles. Delete Timo. Anyway.
Timo has more skins than there are champions in League of Legends. Look it up.
That's a fact. Look it up.
They should
You get the client now to go see who would we make an Aussie skin out of.
They should do that from now on. Every single time they release a new champion, they need to make a new skin for Timo that is a skin of him wearing that person
themed after
costume.
the champion. That would be.
I would actually. I was gonna say I would get Teemo for that, but I do own Teemo.
He would be like the Kirby of fucking
Oh, that would be amazing.
League of Legends. He just
That
gets a
would make
skin that
him-
matches every champion.
You know what? If they actually changed Teemo to that, where he did a Kirby and just took other people's skills, I would play Teemo again.
That would be amazing.
That would be pretty awesome, actually.
Oh my
That would
god,
be
now
fun.
I want to play
Teemo.
Smash Brothers MOBA. Let's do it.
I had a vision ages ago of doing a Street Fighter style
I was thinking
fighting
Marvel
game
vs.
with just the
Capcom
League of
MOBA.
Legends characters.
Oh, a fighting game.
Yeah, like a Capcom.
That would be interesting.
style, but just the League of Legends characters, and like all of their skills become special moves.
That'd be pretty cool.
Like it would be awesome, and it would be like cell shaded.
Teemo would be so fucking annoying in that.
Yeah, he's Teemo. He's
Hide in
annoying
the corner,
now.
poison, blind when you come into attack,
You're talking
and
about him
then
now.
run away like fucking whoop, 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 whoop,
That
whoop.
is exactly him now. You just forgot the mushrooms.
Oh yeah,
and the
sorry.
global
Well,
salt.
for like the special instant kill move, you pull the combo off right, and they walk into a shroom, it blows up the entire screen, and then the opponent that walked into it died, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
like
you take one of your mushrooms, shove it down their fucking throat, and then blow it up. We could get bloody with this. It'd be badass.
Except Teemo's not badass and needs to die in a fire.
They could make him badass if they tried hard enough.
I fucking hate Teemo. I have so much hate for Teemo.
everyone does. It's the global time, man.
I really want them to fucking add that to Teemo now. Have a skin for every champion.
I do too, and that angers me.
What would be the best one, man? You could have... Oh, yeah, and then, like, you could have a special one that could be like Mundo Mundo, where he's Teemo.
No. No. No.
Well, here's
no.
what I want. I want a skin for every other champion wearing
dresses them up as
Teemo's
Teemo.
skin.
I knew where you were
want
going with
Teemo's bloody corpse to be draped over every character.
that. Kind of like Earth, except
Exactly,
for Teemo.
like Earth Warwick. Like that's what I want.
That's actually a really brutal skin when you think about it.
Well, yeah, but you know, Earth
Poor
is
Earth.
Riot's bitch.
He never had a chance to get out.
I think that's the one Earth skin I don't own, actually.
I have that skin. I got it when it was 50 RP when it came out.
Yeah, I think that's the one Earth skin I don't own.
That's the only one I do own.
Because I know I have the Fizz one, and I know I have the Corky one. And I don't know if there were any others.
All right, let's get into games releasing this month.
Well, hold on, wait, there's more League of Legends stuff.
Are we going to talk about Quinn?
Well, yeah, this is a big week for League of Legends. There was Quinn, there's the new patch that they just dropped that has the smart ping.
That's
The smart ping
like
is fucking
it.
amazing.
I like it. I don't really know if I like how it was implemented where you have to hold it. Maybe, but I really like that, say you're running away from a champion and somebody pings that they're on their way, it actually shows it on your screen, not the map. And that's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I like is you can ping that people are missing now.
Yeah, the only thing
Instead
I'd
of
kind
taking
of like
3
to see...
seconds to type MIA.
The only
Yeah, well,
thing
I
I'd
mean-
kind of like to see them add is if somebody pings, like, say you're on bottom lane and somebody's heading to gank you, and somebody pings, like, the river, I would, since that isn't on your actual screen, and if you don't look at the map, you might miss it, but, like, say it shows a little arrow in the direction that the ping's coming from if it's close enough to you.
No, absolutely not. I would not want that. And I'll tell you why. How many times have you been in a game with a fucking ping spammer?
Oh my god.
Think about that. Think about some asshole random in your fucking game who starts pinging all over the map. And next thing you know, you got 25 little fucking arrows distracting you from everything you're doing.
Fuck.
Yeah, I would
Yep.
not want that.
Why did you just...
But no, I mean,
Goodbye,
it's one of those
dream.
things, like, I want to pat Riot on the back for, like, implementing this, but it's like, congratulations, you finally updated and did something that Dota 2 had on fucking release, and I'm pretty sure Hones had for ages too.
And
Like,
Smite's got it too.
yeah, and Smite's got it
You
too.
can
It's
ping,
like,
you can ping for individual lanes missing and Smite.
you could do that in Dota 2 as well.
Yeah.
You don't actually ping in Smite, though. You do the, Their little smart chat thing, which is cool. I wish something like that existed in League of Legends too. You know, like the enemy missing right.
Yeah, well, that's what Dota does in combination. It's basically like, you get the wheel, you bring up the wheel, and you just pick which alert you want to send out, and it's like middle is missing, and everybody knows that mid is missing.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
And it's one of those things where it's like, and granted, I understand what Riot was going for by using the trimmed down UI.
Would you kind of like for it to be more along the lines of a voice that says enemy missing middle, or would you rather it stay as a weird sounding ping that you have to memorize?
I would absolutely love for it to say enemy missing middle. And like the fact that they can't figure out how to code it so it at least pops up in fucking chat is kind of stupid.
Yeah, that'd be nice though.
There's no reason they can't.
I think it's less that they can't figure that out and more it's just not on their priority list right now. I'm fairly sure that
priorities are kind of weird.
But that can't be that hard to code because they can already identify mid, top, and bot lanes because you can see that when you do a custom game. If you go into the mid lane, the AI no longer joins that lane. Mm-hmm. Like if you go into the bot lane...
That's something new. They used to do that all the time.
Yeah, well, it was fixed before the Season 3 patch went through. But, like, basically, like... Because the way it used to go, whenever you'd set a custom game up to try something, you had to go top. Because there was always going to be 2 bot, 1 middle, and 1 top. So if you wanted to try out someone mid and adjust to the idea of, like, what it would feel like to have your sides open for ganks, you couldn't do that unless you went in with, like, 1-on-1.
Well, you could do like 1-on-3, but...
Yeah, exactly. So the way they have it set up now is if you get down to the mid lane before minions spawn, the other 4 NPCs will go to the top and bottom lanes. So it can... But what's interesting is if you wander out past the midpoint or step outside of the lane at all, the NPCs will automatically default and go right back to the mid lane. So it can identify the lanes. And there's no reason that they couldn't put this little bit of code in other than they didn't feel it was pertinent. And it's like, it's little shit like that they end up going back and adding later that makes them look like they're slow on everything. Like there's no reason they couldn't have implemented that on release of the smart ping. There's no reason it should have taken this fucking long to even get the smart ping. The fact
their
that they
original answer was, we'll add a second ping.
Yeah, like that was their original. They're like, oh, well, we'll just give you a second button to press. That'll mean go away. And it's like you're not even fucking trying. Like, and here's the thing. Like, we actually discussed last week with the, I think it was on the podcast with the Skullgirl thing, or was I just talking to you about that, Shig?
What about it?
About them raising funds to do 1 extra character?
No, that was something that just came up this week.
Okay, so we were just talking about that, but like. So, like, we discussed basically how intensive it is to create and balance a new character.
Well, did you actually look at that Kickstarter?
Yeah.
They actually have a section on there that goes through every single thing that they have to do.
But exactly, but here's my point. Like, we're talking about balancing this game, and I think Skullgirl right now has something like, what, 6, 8 characters you can pick from? So... Yeah, so we're talking about how difficult balance is with 8 characters. Now you look at something like League of Legends, when they're balancing for, what are they at, like 106, 107 now, something like that?
Something ridiculously high.
Yeah, so like, that's a ridiculous amount of balance, and they have multiple champions going concurrently, plus a bunch of reworks. And it's like, that's where the argument was always coming from, where people were like, you need to slow your release schedule. Because if they would pay, and their argument is always, oh, well, it's not the same team that works on character creation as it is that works on map creation.
It just makes them more money.
But no, it doesn't even matter. It's like, well, assholes, if you permanently slow your champion release, you can hire in people to work in the other departments and release people who work on the fucking champion development teams. Like, it's really fucking simple. Like, and it's shit like the fact that they're just now teasing that in-game fucking replays are going to be coming in fucking PBE, and they still and then they as far as I know, they pulled it out of PBE already, because it was just like, this is an alpha, and it's going to be coming soon, TM. And like, now they're like doing one of those things where it's like...
Soon is my favorite game.
Dude, that
I
is
play it
the
all the
fucking
time
major
on
Riot
every
meta.
single console.
That is the Riot meta. Like,
That's every meta.
dude, but Riot has made an art of it. Like, and what kills me about Riot is they're like, no, we got to release things when they're ready to be released. It's like, well, they'd be ready to be released sooner if you put a little fucking focus on them.
Didn't they have a map that was supposed to be coming out like 2 years before Dominion?
turned
Oh,
in-
they
Never-
canceled
Yeah, I
that.
know they turned
No,
it into
it's
it.
not Dominion. They canceled it.
It-
Like,
it
they were
wasn't
working on
Dominion.
Dominion.
People were just making that excuse.
Yeah, no, they were working on Dominion concurrently. They decided that there would be too many balance issues if they released Magma Chamber, and it would detract from the 5v5 queue for Summoner's Rift if they released it. So they ended up just scrapping the whole project. And it was supposed to release around the same time as Project Shiny, which
Oh, yeah,
ended up being
that's
nowhere
awesome.
near the graphics overhaul that they said it was going to be. Granted, they did do a graphics overhaul, and it was nice. But everybody, if you remember, all of the champions were supposed to get the graphics overhaul. They teased what Mordekaiser was going to look like. And
They do them here and there now. They don't even do it that
yeah,
frequently.
they're doing it really sporadically now, and like they ended up scrapping the idea of a Project Shiny even happening. There's no major graphics overhaul. They, like I said, they did do an overhaul of Summoner's Rift. It does look nice. It's nowhere near as nice as they said it was going to be. But the problem that I have with it was this was their argument for not releasing Magma Chamber. And I don't care what their excuse was. I don't care what the deal was. I have never been more excited for an announcement that Riot made than I was for Magma Chamber. The map looked awesome, and it looked like a ton of fun. And I guarantee you, even if I played it as long as Dominion, that would have been something. But me and everybody I know played Dominion for like 2 weeks when it came out, and then we were like, well, this is dumb. And more people I know play regularly on the fucking tutorial map for all random than people that play Dominion.
Well, yeah, I don't think
You
that
know-
many people play Dominion even.
I don't have the numbers, but I'm almost fucking positive, and I'd be willing to slap fucking money down on it, that more people are playing co-op versus AI than people are playing Dominion.
Wouldn't
You know?
surprise me if that was the case.
Well, I mean, there's people like I've spoken to plenty of people that have leveled to 30 in co-op versus AI. And I have never encountered anyone that has leveled to 30 playing Dominion. And if I'm wrong, if somebody knows somebody like that, please point them in my direction and let them tell me I'm wrong, because I've never encountered anybody that's done that.
Isn't the champion select for Dominion basically play one of these 10 champs, and
Well, you could,
If you pick
yeah,
anybody
but
else,
that's
you
the same
suck.
thing- that you could say the same thing for Treeline, though.
not really. Treeline is a pretty big group to pull from.
Not really. Treeline is still, and even after the map changes, Treeline is still a bruiser map.
Yeah.
Like you play
You can pick
bruisers,
bruiser counters too, but
yeah,
it's
you
easy
play-
to get
you
countered
play-
too.
You play bruisers or you play AD casters and you call it a day. Like that's how you succeed in Treeline. But I know people that have leveled from 1 to 30 in Treeline. Obviously, they still have a fucking ranked for Treeline. Like they've been talking about a Dominion rank, but they haven't implemented it probably because they don't have a fucking large enough player base in Treeline or in Dominion. Like so the idea that, and that's the other thing, like the idea that Magma Chamber, which even though it is technically a 5v5 3-lane map, would detract from Summoner's Rift is bullshit because it's a completely different playstyle, and it's no different than releasing a 5v5 Dominion.
Pretty much.
So
Maybe they were like, this Dominion map is worse, so it won't retract as much. So let's scrap Magma Chamber and keep Dominion.
well, here's my theory.
I'm
This is
wondering.
my theory as to what they did and why. And I mean, again, this is completely off the top of my head. I'm making this up. I could be completely wrong, but this is my theory as to what I think happened. I think what happened with the Magma Chamber map was that they made an announcement, and I think the announcement was in PC Gamer or PC Informer or something. So it wasn't like a small, modest post on the website. Like it was a major announcement for like a 4-page spread. And they teased images of the map and all this shit and got everybody excited. But then they realized how difficult it would be to balance. And they would have people coming to the game and jumping directly into Magma Chamber because that's what they saw in the magazine. And they'd end up dealing with this completely imbalanced map. And they didn't want to have to deal with balancing champions around 2 maps, which I understand, but that's still a bullshit, cowardly way to go.
Well, they could have
Like-
done a smite route and blocked off magma chamber until like level 10 or something.
As long as they didn't make it fucking ranked, it wouldn't matter.
True.
Like, if it's imbalanced, fine. Dominion's imbalanced. Nobody fucking cares. Just don't put it as ranked.
True.
You know,
Fair enough. You got that right.
Because there's nothing wrong with a variety of game modes. Like,
Smite has what, like 6?
yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just that. Like, I mean, Summoner's Rift is always going to be the default because that's what's been played since beta. Summoner's
That's what's
Rift
been played
is
since fucking Warcraft 3.
Yeah, Summoner's Rift is the default de facto mode. Summoner's Rift is what's done competitively. Summoner's Rift is what everything is balanced around, and Summoner's Rift is where the majority of rankings come from. That's what people are going to fucking play. Give them more options so that they don't get... See, this is my mentality. If I get bored of Summoner's Rift, I will continue to stay inside the League of Legends client if I have something else fun to play. And right now, my options are completely imbalanced Dominion, who I can never find people to play with me on.
Sorry,
Twisted Tree Line, which I do enjoy the new Twisted Tree Line. I do like the changes they made to it. So I will play Twisted Tree Line once in a while. And most of my time not spent on Summoner's Rift is spent on the what is the tutorial map called so I can stop calling it the tutorial map?
The Proving Grounds?
The Proving Grounds.
There you go.
Like, you know, most of my time outside of Summoner's Rift is spent on the Proving Grounds. Because it's completely different and it's fun. And you're still in a fucking 5v5. It's just a completely different game mode for a 5v5.
They really need to add a matchmaking system that gives you a dodge penalty for ARAM, though. It's so frustrating having like 8 dodges in a row because somebody doesn't like their fucking champ.
If they set up an automated queue, it doesn't even have to fucking... they could set it up completely random with no elo and send fucking level 1s in against level fucking 30s.
The only thing...
nobody's gonna care because... Well, I should say nobody's gonna care, but people get really fucking butthurt in fucking randoms for some reason. Like...
I love those people.
Well, dude, like how many
much.
times have we played fucking randoms on Proving Grounds and people have rage quit because people weren't taking it seriously?
It's like, I'm not playing this to take it seriously.
I was in an ARAM before we started this podcast, and we had an Asus on our team who, we were against Wukong, Lee Sin, Heimerdinger, Cassiopeia, and somebody else. I don't remember. Some other Gangplank. We were against Gangplank. And not just any Gangplank. Fucking Crit Plank. I hate Crit Plank. Our team was Cho'Gath, Singed, Nasus, Karma, and Alistair. We were poked to death in 20 minutes. And our Nasus, the entire fucking game is going, this is such bullshit. This is so unfair. /FF. Oh my god, I hate this game. And it's like, dude, it's an ARAM. You've had every ounce of control you can possibly have.
Oh, and for anybody who's gonna listen to this or who's listening now and doesn't know, because I have encountered a few people who've played League casually but don't know what the fucking ARAM is. ARAM is all random, all mid, so all your champions are chose randomly. And it used to be on the 3-lane map, Summoner's Rift, where everybody would go down the middle lane and you couldn't leave the middle lane.
It was more of an honor thing at that point.
Right, but Riot had a tutorial map that was perfect for it, and people were asking for it for ages. And Riot decided to throw somebody on it for the 5 minutes it would take to set this up for a fucking ARAM map, and released it under the custom game so that you can play it as an all-random thing where you have a 5v5 and you're constricted to a single lane. And it's fucking fun. Like, it's just fun. It's a random bullshit fun mode. And, like, you don't know who you're going to get, and you just randomly spam shit. I've had a couple champs that I've played, like, twice. And, like, I played, like, some of them it was like, oh, I played this character last time in fucking, like, the pre-season 1. Like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm just going to go have fun. And, like, Mosen's played with me. I don't know if you've played with me recently, Shig, in ARAMs, but, like, I don't take ARAM seriously at all, and I will rack up the most ridiculous death count because I'm just like, I'm gonna charge in, like, every single time I get back down to lane, it's just like, Leroy Jenkins!
Yeah!
I don't fucking care because it's not gonna affect my wins or losses, it's not gonna affect my fucking rankings, it's not gonna affect me in any way, shape, or form. I just want to
go in there and hit somebody in the face with some fucking cool looking particles. I don't fucking care what happens. Like, I'm not playing to win.
And the thing that I love about ARAMs, that like I've learned to love about ARAMs, because you remember, I hated playing ARAMs for the longest fucking time. I hated it.
Yeah.
And mostly for the exact reason of somebody is going to fucking bitch about it. But the thing that I love about ARAMs is there's always a chance that I'm gonna random somebody and know how to play. I random singed in that last game. It was an entire 20 minutes of me screaming, "I give no fucks" at the top of my lungs in TeamSpeak and diving in head first. Diving in head first to go after the gangplank that was extremely fed, but just low enough for me to fling him to his death. Like, I did not fucking care. And I wish more people would, like, embrace that whole don't give a fuck when you've had every ounce of control ripped from you.
ARAM exists exclusively, in my opinion, ARAM exists to blow off steam in between actual games.
And that's usually what I do.
Yeah.
Like, come
It's like,
from
I
a
had
bad game, I'm gonna jump in an ARAM.
Yep, exactly. And that's the way I tend to play it. You know, but I mean,
I always end up there when I dodge a game because I don't like how people are acting in the champion select, and I go play an ARAM. That's pretty much how I do it.
There was an occasion, though, this week where I came out of a bad game that was so bad, I didn't even want to look at the fucking League client. I was so upset. With the new ranking system, there is... I feel like there's a slightly increased chance for trolls in the lower leagues, but the chance for trolls is diminished in the higher leagues, like in all the gold leagues. But there's less punishment for trolling.
yeah, like,
And we had a game where somebody first picked Elise to jungle. Fine, she can jungle, whatever. We didn't think anything of it in Champ Select. Everybody got the roles that they wanted. Nobody complained. Nobody did anything. There was a lot of, all right, let's win this shit. Let's go. GG, we got this. We load into the game. Elise buys a fuck ton of wards, drops them all in Fountain, and then walks to the enemy blue and gives them first blood. She comes into my lane after that. She walks under the Aurelia that I'm against. She walks under their tower and gives her a kill. And our Caitlyn is going, fuck this, I'm not letting this goddamn troll get to me. I'm gonna go sit at Fountain forever. And starts talking in all chat, please just push down mid lane, we have a fucking troll. And Elise is just running into the enemy team and killing and feeding and doing all kinds of stuff and just spouting nonsense in all chat.
You get it sometimes. I mean, that's any fucking, that's any game.
Normally, like, that didn't bother me though. I knew the Elise was gonna troll, and I was like, alright, fine, time to fucking carry this bitch. The thing that bothered me was the rest of my team gave up at the first sign of trolling.
yeah.
And it's like, why are you letting the troll win? Why? And it was 20 fucking minutes of my entire team whining about the troll and bragging about how she's gonna be permabanned and all this shit, and it's like, you fucking let the troll win. Regardless of whether or not they're going to be permabanned, and they're just going to come back and do it on a different account. Yep. You've accomplished absolutely
nothing. Troll got
nothing.
His attention. He was happy.
You gave him the loss that he was looking for. You let him win. If you don't want the troll to win, you fucking carry the shit out of that guy. Don't fucking let him get to you. You fucking show him that his efforts are going to be futile because you can fucking carry like a goddamn badass. But no.
And he's only worth 30 gold after like 5 deaths, so...
Yep.
Exactly. And it bothered me so much that they fucking let the troll win. I couldn't fucking, like, even sit and talk about League.
Yeah, well, I mean,
without immediately thinking about that game and wanting to strangle a puppy.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Like, you know, that's enough.
And I've never been...
Like, I want to talk about Blade Symphony a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we, there was a lot of stuff that they actually... They did their, We're transitioning hard into Blade Symphony now, just because I want to get into it, because, you know, we're running out of time otherwise. But they did their show and tell tonight, actually.
The game in the background, just in case people want to know.
This is Blade Symphony that's running on the background right now, and Me and Shig and Mosen have talked this game up a lot, and it's really a great game. Like, I love the shit out of it. But, like, they
Except
have
for the
a
fact
lot
that
of
Mosen
cool
plays the
changes.
cheap class.
Let's not even get into that, please.
Basically, well, we are going to get into it, but we're not going to shit on you, Mosen, don't worry.
Like, I didn't
No.
even know when I picked him up.
I haven't even gotten to
I
play with
started
you in a
with
couple
this
weeks. I was
guy.
just giving you shit.
No, this
Guys, give
this
shit
game
on.
that's running is Blade Symphony, and it looks like me and Shig both released videos about it, and in the video I made, like, I actually did mention when I went into this game, I thought it was a fighter. And I got really stoked at first, and I was like, oh my god, a fighter, like, I used to play Yoshimitsu like a fucking boss, and I can't wait for this game, and then I got into it, and I was like, yeah, fighter, mash buttons, and I got destroyed. Like,
Hold on really quick. I just want to say, what's up, Cursed? Haven't seen you in a while. Carry on.
hiding in the shadows. Yeah, like, I got destroyed, and then I figured out after a few matches, and it wasn't until, like, I was playing with Shig and Mosen that I realized, oh, this isn't a fighting game. This is a dueling game. It's a fencing game.
It's Jedi Knight 2.
It is. And, like, you have to, there's a lot of strategy involved, and you have to pick your moments and wait for openings, and you have to dance around each other, and you have to, read your opponent and see what stance they're coming in at. And, like, all that stuff becomes really important. I once I learned that stuff, I fell in love with this game. Like, it became super addictive. And, like, honestly, it's a fucking fantastic game. But they went over a lot of stuff in the show and tell tonight with some of the stuff that they're releasing, and one of them is going to be one of the big problems that they have right now. And I mean, it's not a problem. If the game released like this, it would still be great, but, like, you can't really directionally aim your attacks. So if somebody's coming from the air, you're still going to strike forward. You just have to deal with it accordingly. But now they're changing it, and it's I don't know when it's going to go live. I did miss that part when they said it was going to go live, but it's basically now when you aim your camera up, you will strike upwards. So you can parry somebody in midair.
Oh, that's pretty
That's
cool.
gonna
I
be
didn't
cool.
hear him say that.
Yeah, it's going to be really great. Like, if you're in the air, you can change the direction of your swing.
I'm really excited at where this game's going.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with it. Like, it's it does have a little bit of balance issues right now. I'm curious to see what's going to happen because they're introducing a new sword type. They've been working on it for a while. Yeah, they've been working on it for a while. It's the scimitar.
Okay.
And basically it functions kind of like a hyper katana, where it does, like, shit damage on the initial strike, but it gets twice the combos off that the katana does.
That's
That'd
crazy.
be really cool.
Yeah, so, like, it'll do terrible damage, but it will multiply like mad. So if you have, certain types, and I think the one that's going to benefit the most from this is actually going to be the Judgment, the knight character that you see on the screen that Shig's playing right now, because of the fact that one of those large strikes can actually cut through, and even though it's going to do, like, 50% reduced damage off what you would get off the katana, it's going to get, like, 6 strikes on a single sweep.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. I can agree with it being really effective on the Judgment.
Yeah, so, like, when you get a charge stance going in, like, that's going to be fucking nasty. So, like, that's one of the things that looks awesome. And they have some really awesome scimitar style blades that are coming in. One of the problems that they've had, and it came up in the forums, and, there seems to be a general consensus, though, is that, and this is what Mosen didn't want us to talk about, we're going to do it anyway because I don't give a fuck. Fuck the police.
I didn't say I don't want you guys to talk about it. Just stop shitting on me for it, because I didn't fucking
never
know.
That was the first time I said anything. Did Signal
Nobody
give you
shit
shit
on
about
You
it?
guys have been shitting on me for it all week.
I haven't
Well,
said
that
shit
was
about it.
Different. We were shitting on you before we realized it was OP, when we thought you were just being awesome.
Oh, yeah. If you're talking about before, I think it was 2 days ago when Signal
Yeah.
posted that, that's because you just shit on us and we wanted to give you crap.
Yes. That's
And I don't
because
even
we
think
could
you
not
use it. You don't use it the exploitative way, Mosen, at all. You use
No, she
the
doesn't.
foil, right?
Yeah, I use the foil.
It's the people that
and-
use the katana.
Well, no, it's the problem exists even with the foil. The problem with the phalanx, which is the one you see jumping around Shig in the white, the problem with that class is that thrust that they just did right there, and again right there. The range on that thrust is kind of ridiculous, and after the thrust in balance stance, they bounce backwards and get out of your range again.
Only
the
in
problem-
fast stance, actually.
Yeah, but
Is
isn't your fast
they
stance longer than anything else?
I'm sorry, you're right. Your balance stance, they don't
it,
hop back. Your balance
So
stance, they
you
don't hop back.
in
switch
your
to the
balance
fast stance at
stance,
the end, right?
yeah, if you're good enough, you're gonna switch to the fast stance at the end, so you get that safe bounce back. But if you end in balance stance, it's a thrust forward, and they're
Right.
actually wide open when they do that.
Well, but the problem with it is that the balance stance when the phalanx combos you the same as the other class Ryoku, when they combo you, if you get comboed against a wall, you get stunned. And because of the reach of the phalanx, it's really easy to get that position set up. And they have a really large sweep that they can do to either left or right. And it's not as large as the Judgment sweep or the Ryoku sweep, but it's too large for them when they can put that much damage going straight in. And they can lock you up. And with the thing about this game is there's different kinds of swords. Right now, there's 3 different kinds of swords. There's the Jian, the Katana, and the Foil. The Foil is pretty much only useful on the Phalanx, and there's like one gimmicky thing you could do with the Judgment, but it's really gimmicky, and you're an asshole if you do it. But like they each have their own qualities. So the Katana will multi-strike. So what you saw with Shig doing right there, and I'm just going to keep referencing the video since that's what you're looking at. When Shig strikes, as that paths through the character, it will hit multiple times. The katana will hit several times, and
so the longer that the katana is making contact,
right,
the longer you do damage.
A ton of damage, but the longer you're in contact with your enemy, the more hits you can gain. And with the foil, whenever you do a stabbing move, any kind of thrust, you get 200% damage on it.
Because, ouch, that shit fucking hurts.
Yeah, so the catch is the Phalanx can capitalize on either one of those. They can get the 200% damage on the thrust and do a thrust combo, which is one after another while you're stunned and pinned and can't react. Or they can use the katana and they won't lock you up as much, but at the same time, they'll be passing through you with the thrust and get 4 or 5 hits each strike and easily churn out 3 or 4 strikes in balance stance. So what happens is you don't really have a defensible position to fight from. And with the Judgment, you have so many openings because of how slow your attacks are. And with the Ryoku, you have to get too close into range. And unfortunately, the Phalanx can kind of dance as well as you can. So it's really difficult to get around behind the Phalanx like you can with the Judgment. Like, and Shig can attest to it, like when I'm running Ryoku, I can get behind the Judgment really easy. And right now, Ryoku's kind of the toughest class because there's problems with the hitbox detection. And there's a lot of issue with the pathing, and it doesn't multi-hit the way it should. And they don't really have a unique jump stance. Their jump attack is the same as Phalanx, and it doesn't really fit their playstyle at all. So, there's some definite like issues with the Ryoku class right now, and they need to balance it. But I mean, this game is in beta, and it's being made by a team of like, under a dozen guys, and they're doing it in their spare time, and they've come up with something amazing. And like, at the end of the day, even this is one of those few games where like, I'll go in and I will lose. And I've had days where I lost like 12 straight.
Especially when you fight against me.
Oh, please.
And Mosin.
Yeah.
And everybody.
Yeah, everybody. But like, I don't care. Like, I'm okay with losing, except for that one day I was really...
I just want to get on that really quick and say that I feel like they're kind of doing what Riot did with the League of Legends. Basically, the multiplayer of Jedi Knight 2 was pretty much an afterthought. And they basically were like, you know what? This has a ton of potential. We want to make an entire game based on it. And they did that, and I think it might be able to create a new genre pretty much, because this type of game pretty much doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, the problem with that, I don't think it's going to happen. I would love to say that Blade Symphony is going to be the breakout hit of 2013. But the reality of it is that, unfortunately, they just don't have the resources that Riot had. So...
I don't think I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to claim that it was going to be nearly as
no. I'm just
popular
saying, like,
and have 5 million players.
It's not going to be able to rejuvenate a genre because it's just not going to get enough.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Dude, if I'm wrong, I will be so happy, and I would love for the gaming world to prove me wrong. But when Riot started up,
they had really deep pockets, relatively speaking.
Well, they had some rich Chinese dude like, make
That
game, make
that
good
wasn't
one.
until, that wasn't until like season 2, though.
Oh,
But like,
then I just started.
when they started, they did have investors, and they were able to start out with a team of like over 100 people.
Yeah.
And all of these people had severe experience, and they were dedicated to only making League of Legends. So with this one, and you can see it in the fact that when Riot released, what did they release with the original 40 champs?
I don't even think they had that many.
No, I think they released with 40.
You mean out of beta?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
releases.
Well, their beta was completely open for like a year and a half, so that game was basically out. It did the Korean
Right.
MMO style of beta where the game just stays in beta until they finally say it's not, even though they don't change anything.
Well, basically, either way, they released at 40, and they with this game, they're going to be releasing with 4. Like maybe 5. So like, that's because of the size of their dev team. But honestly, I'd rather play a game where you have 4 classes that are really polished.
But unlike League of Legends, you're not saying, hey, I have 40 characters with 4 attacks and pretty much one or two playstyles each. You have 3 right now, characters with pretty much any playstyle you can imagine.
Right, exactly. That's one of the things I love too. Like, they're not constrained. And there was a user that brought up on the forums, like, he didn't see where my argument lied and like what I was talking about. And he had posted a gameplay video. And when I went and checked it out, I realized that the reason he didn't understand where my argument laid was because his style was so completely different from the one that used the exploit.
Yeah.
Like, I watched him play like 4 or 5 matches, and he did maybe 2 thrust moves in 4 or 5 matches. He fought a lot in heavy stance, and he used a lot of heavy stance attacks. And like, he was basically playing his phalanx in the typical manner you would see someone playing a judgment, and it was really effective. Like, so it was really interesting to see. Like, it was incredibly effective, and he really punished his opponents. And the only time you would see him start using his thrust move was really to pin down an opponent and get them in a position where he can bust out heavy strikes one after another. And it was really cool to see a completely different play style that was actually working. And granted, there are a lot of people on the servers now, but we're still talking about maybe a few thousand users tops. Like, we're not talking, like, there are going to be more effective metas that come into play once you start getting hundreds of thousands of users involved. But as it stands, there's only a few thousand. And like, even with that, there are people who are climbing the rankings, which are broken. The rankings don't work right now.
They said they're going to change it, though.
They
Just
are going
in
to
case
change
you
it,
guys
but
were
they're
curious. I
trying
didn't know
to
if you
figure
saw
out.
that.
Yeah, the rankings are not going to stay the way they are.
Right
now,
now-
the rankings are based exclusively on wins.
So if you play 1,000 games and win 50 of them, you'll be doing better than the guy. You'll be higher ranked than the guy who's played 40 and won 40.
Exactly. So like, that they're working on changing that, but they, even tonight when they were doing their live video, they discussed that they were still trying to figure out how to do it. Like, the suggestion was that they were going to set an elo system based up on how much damage you actually received during your matches. And if you receive less damage, you be ranked higher. And one of the other devs brought up the really good point, which, because I didn't agree with that style, and one of the other devs brought up the really good point where it's like, well, what if you have an all-in style and it's incredibly successful? You're going to still take a ton of damage, but somebody who kites a lot more than you and
I'm
ends
an
up
all-in
finishing,
style for sure.
yeah, and ends up finishing most of their games with perfect health is going to rank higher. Even whether or not the style is more effective doesn't really matter. Like, so one of the other devs suggested was actually, instead of weighing it by damage received, to weigh it by time, which I think is actually a really clever way to do it. How long does it take to finish the match? And if you can eliminate your opponent much faster than anyone else, then you would get ranked higher because you were a more efficient fighter. And I think that has some merit.
There's one problem with that, though, and that is it will make the people that you see that do nothing but dodge around and jump around all game really, really frustrating to fight against. They're already really frustrating to fight against, but having it so it affects your score is kind of shitty.
Right, and I mean, and that's the penalty that you deal with when dealing with anything other than wins as well. Because even if you were to do it based off of life, like how many times have you seen me as Ryoku win matches because I go in, lay down some damage, and then stay the fuck away?
You don't
You
think
know?
that it could be a simple elo system of you get plus certain points for beating somebody of certain rank?
That's the way I think, honestly, it should be, at least initially. They're trying to do something else with it to really focus on the sword fighting aspect of it. But realistically, like, there's been many an occasion where I've won by timeouts. And if you tell me that my rank is gonna increase, and I win by timeouts, not because that just happens to happen, it's because my particular fighting style involves a lot of kiting. Like, I will kite the shit out of you all day.
And fuck you for that.
Yeah. And if that means I will go in, hit you once when you have an opening, and then not touch you again for the rest of the match until that timer runs out, that's what I'll do. And I'll catapult up the rankings because I'll win every single fucking match with full health. You know? And, like, that I don't think is fair. Like, that's not something that should be encouraged. That's a shitty play style, and it gets really boring really fast.
Well, what if you had a combination of the two, where the faster you win, you go up, and the more health you have left, the faster you go up. So they kind of counter each other out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be effective. I think at the end of the day, they should those factors should be weighted in, but they shouldn't be the determining factor, even in conjunction. I think honestly, the determining factor should be wins versus losses, and then the other elements weigh into it. You know, they weigh into your rating, but they don't decide your rating. Like, I honestly feel that at the end of the day, it is a competitive game, and you are dueling against other people, and the most important statistic really is wins versus losses.
Yeah.
You know, that's all that really, you know, matters. How
I
you
think
win
that
versus how you lose.
I think that the original League Elo system would actually have a much better effect here than it did in League, because you're not dependent on teammates.
Exactly. Like, this is a 1v1, and that's how the League Elo system treated you, like you were playing in 1v1s, whereas this is a genuine 1v1, and I think that, like you said, that system would work really well here. Like, and I mean,
wasn't Elo originally invented for chess matches one-on-one?
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
But, like, I mean, I don't even really know why they're scratching their head over how to set up a ranking system, because ranking systems have been in place since the 80s. Like,
well, has anybody brought this type up to them for them to go over? Maybe they just didn't think about it for some reason.
well, I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, even they don't even really need to rely on the Elo system. Like, rankings in fighting games have been around forever, and all they'd have to do is tweak it to match the style of fighting in their game, but they can basically use an existing system. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't. I think the only thing that would really be problematic about that is the fact that in order to use that system, they would probably have to purchase rights to that system, which isn't going to be cheap.
Do you have to buy rights to a system?
Of course, it's a programmed algorithm. You're going to have to pay a copyright for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how it works. You think the elves do it?
No, I just thought that as soon as, like, something was a fucking idea, you could fucking use it.
God, don't I wish. No.
If
No.
only.
Yeah. Anyway, we got about 30 minutes left, I'd say. Do you want to talk any more about this, or do you want to get into the releases?
Let's get into the releases.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this video off now, and because I need to use stuff on my desktop. Anyway, so I guess I'll go over these, pretty much the top 10 releases of March coming up. Starting with some Japanese game I've never heard of. Next one is Gears of War Judgment.
Wait, what's the Japanese game? I might have heard of it.
Atelier Aisha, The Alchemist of Dusk.
I have heard of it, and I do want to play that.
I've actually looked some stuff up on that game a few months ago when I first heard about it, and it looked decent. I just have no idea what it is. Do you have anything to comment on it? Like, why does it look like something you'd want to play?
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of JRPGs I'm into, but this is made by Gust, and Gust has a pretty good track record of U.S. releases, and most of them are in the Alchemist series. Or I don't even know if they're actually related, but there are Alchemist games. Like they released, God, I can't remember the first part of it, but it's like Eternal Mana, and then that whole series with Something Destiny and the Grand Phantasm, and like they do have. They're one of the few JRPG companies where I do play, and that's not to shit on JRPGs. You just know I'm not like huge in JRPGs.
Yeah, I know.
But
Pokemon.
No. But they tend to have like really good narratives. I mean, the narratives are a little light for me, you know, like they're a little too schoolhouse anime kind of thing, you know, where like, you know, the heroine has to find her lost puppy or some shit like that. There wasn't too much relationship building in their previous games, which I like. I'm not a fan of that. I know a lot of people love that, but I don't care what people think of me in real life. So I definitely don't give a shit what people think about me in video games.
You would hate
know?
Persona.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons
That entire
I never got into
game.
the Persona series. Yeah,
I think that entire game exists to prove that the Japanese are smart enough to make a fucking gruff male play a dating sim and enjoy it. Because that shit is hidden so well under the gameplay. It's not even that well hidden. It's just you don't realize when you're doing it until you're too late and you're like, I really want that girl as my girlfriend. I can't wait.
Yeah, see, exactly. Like, I don't like that stuff, and it does exist in a lot of Gust games, or that I've played, because they've made a ton of games. Like, they've had at least a dozen North American releases, and like, I know they've had a metric fuck ton of Japanese releases, and I mean, you know, I haven't experienced too much of it in the games that I've played. There very easily could be a shit ton of it, and I just happen to not play those games. But, you know, I would look forward to that. Like, you know, that's a decent game. I mean, from what I saw, it's got some magic girl elements, which I'm not too crazy about, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I'll give it a day in court because Gust has done right by me so far.
All right. Next on the list, Gears of War Judgment. I don't actually know what this game is.
That game, Gears of War Judgment, it's a prequel basically, but it doesn't involve
Phoenix?
Marcus Phoenix.
Yes.
It's centered around Baird and is it Cole? I think it's centered around Baird and Cole. I mean, Baird is the main character. I'm pretty sure Cole is also like a character in it, but it's everything that takes place prior to the what was it called, Emergence Day,
Yeah.
or on Emergence Day onward. So like it fills in the gaps between the war that's discussed before Emergence Day and from Emergence Day on to the beginning of the first Gears of War.
That's
and
cool.
It shows you what's been going on with Baird and Cole.
I kind of like stuff like that, though. When
Yeah,
they step a little bit away from their comfort zone, you know,
Yeah,
for the first time.
Like, I'm cool with that. And I mean, realistically, like, they're really pushing at the edges to make another Gears of War game. And they are making one. I'm sure they announced it. I don't remember where I saw it. But the plot's getting really fucking thin. Like the Gears of War game.
I haven't played them. I don't really know.
Like, you know, they're at the point where it's going to be like, yeah, we have to dig even further into the center of the earth, and there's like 5 humans left, and you know, a fucking human grub hybrid with robot arms, and it's just like, all right, look, we gotta kind of peel back, and I think the prequel was the good way to go for this series. I honestly think like if they do more in the Gears of War series, they need to shift away from Marcus and Dom, shift away from Baird and Cole, and
You
like
know-
on the other side of the fucking world, you know?
I have
like,
to stop you for a minute here.
Yeah.
When you said dig further into the center of the world, the only thing I could imagine was them digging to China and finding a giant Chinese phoenix who's like, "I help you now," and that's where the sequel goes from there.
It would be Marcus Phoenix, but as a dragon, and he's just like, holy shit, it's a giant dragon. No, I'm a phoenix. You sound like Marcus. No, I don't. I'm Chinese. It's like, my name is Ma Wong Phoenix. But like, no, like, it's. I've always liked the Gears of War games. I don't know, maybe they're a guilty pleasure. It's not like they're Modern Warfare, but like, you know, Gears of War was the first to really master the cover mechanic, and like, I really enjoyed Gears of War 2. I was hit or miss on Gears 3. Gears of War 2 had the worst ending of almost any video game ever, though. That last boss fight was fucking horrible, and I don't know if you can actually lose it. But I think I actually did try to lose the last boss fight in Gears of War 2 a couple times, and I did not succeed in doing so. Like, I don't think you can actually lose.
You must be pretty bad at the game if you can't even lose it well.
No, I'm just that good. That's what it is. I'm just that good. But no, like, I honestly, I just don't know if, like, you could lose that last boss fight. It was really poorly done.
Yeah, you're right. That does sound like a good way to take the game serious, though.
Yeah, like, they need to take it in new directions. Like, they just, I don't think that there's much, I don't think there's enough left for me to give a shit about Marcus Phoenix anymore. Like, especially since they killed Dom. Spoiler, sorry, if you haven't gotten there.
Fuck you all.
Good thing I don't plan on playing the game.
Yeah, well, honestly, it was one of the most surprising parts in a video game for me. Not because they killed off a main character, but because the entire cutscene was set to the score of Gary Jules' Mad World.
Yeah,
which you might have heard in
their trailer.
Well,
it was also in their trailer.
Yeah, it was in their trailer, but that song came from the Donnie Darko movie.
Yeah,
and like, it's a cover of a Tears for Fears song. But like, yeah, like they went super cinematic with it and used this really famous song to lay over top of it, and I was like, really? Like, they did that? Because normally they would never do something like that. And like, they just went fucking balls to the wall with it, and I was like, all right, cool, like, I'm into it, I'm following you. But like, at the end of the day, it wasn't terribly fucking exciting. The third game had its high points, but the second game was better with the exception of the ending. The ending for the third one was better than the ending for the second, but the overall experience was way better in the first.
Mosin, can you please turn your vibrator off? Wait till we're done.
Have a move?
I have a vibrator? What?
A move.
Move.
Alright. The next release is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity. They made another one of those.
Not give a fuck at all.
I'm not playing that.
Alright, on to the next game.
In its ass.
Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3.
Yeah, no.
About Shonen Jump. The only one I watch is Bleach because I'm pathetic like that, and I love filler, I guess.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say one thing about this game. I played Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, and it's actually a really fucking fun fighting game. I could put my support behind it. It had an extremely exploitable part of it, but aside from that, it's an extremely fun, fast-paced fighting game, in my opinion.
I've heard good things about it. You know, I'm not going to lie. I have heard good things about it, but it's just like,
I don't really give that much of a
excited
fuck about
for it.
Naruto either, but that game is fun.
Like, I can't get excited for it. I don't, like, I watch a lot of anime. Like, I watch a lot of anime, way more anime than is healthy for an adult male. And, like,
I try and watch as much as I can.
I don't like Shonen Jump stuff. Like, I've been watching anime since I was a kid, and, like, I got Akira on VHS when Orion released it in the US. So, like, I've been watching for a while.
VHS!
I still have it, mind you. And, like, Manga Video was, like, godly back in the day. So, like, you know, I have a very specific taste in what kind of anime I like, because back then, you know, anime, when you think anime, all you think is violent, bad English dubs, very confusing plot lines. There was a lot of bad anime back then. You know, there was stuff like Angel Cop and Shadow Skill, and they were bad. But like,
there's still a lot of bad anime, mind you.
There is, but now it's like Saturday morning cartoon anime, you know, and like, a lot of the Shonen Jump stuff and Shonen Jump is this magazine, this manga magazine that comes out.
And I don't know why, just on the topic of Shonen Jump, but I love One Piece.
I was just gonna say,
Can't get enough of that game.
It has
that
like
movie.
Show. Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, Naruto. What's the other big one?
Dragon Ball.
No, not Dragon Ball. God damn it, what's it
Dragon Ball
called?
was the big one. It's just over.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about now.
Bleach, Naruto, Soul Eater was one of them.
Eater.
Claymore.
No,
I
not
remember
Claymore.
No, I remember reading Claymore in one of their books. That
Yeah,
was how
but-
I found out about it.
He's
Oh,
talking
really?
about a specific one, I think.
Yeah, no, Inuyasha. That's the other one.
Oh,
Inuyasha.
yeah. Well, that one's over, too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Inuyasha-
How the
Is it
fuck are
finally
you going to
over?
discount Inuyasha but not... Wait, maybe they're still making comics, I don't know.
Because
The show's over.
I completely concur that Bleach is bad. Like, I'm not going to deny that for a second. The only one
I
of
like
any of those
Bleach,
anime
though.
that I really liked, that I thought was high quality, was Full Metal Alchemist, specifically Brotherhood.
That
Full Metal Alchemist was
is
great,
amazing.
but Brotherhood was fucking phenomenal.
So basically, Shonen Jump sucks except for half of their fucking shit.
Except for Full Metal Alchemist. Bleach sucks too, I just happen to watch that one. Like, so the rest I could give two shits about.
I love Bleach. I'm still so bitter about how they fucking ended the Aizen thing. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah,
It
that's
was fucking horrible.
yeah, that's the fucking anime Pearl Harbor. Let's just not discuss that.
Tune in tomorrow for anime podcast with Signal and Shig.
No, I'm not going to do that. I don't watch enough new anime to do that. Anyway, let's move on to the
All
next
right,
one.
next game. Let's see. Monster Hunter 3 is coming out for the 8th time on a new console.
I was
on the
gonna
Wii
say, I'm
U.
like, didn't they release 3?
Yeah, 3 has been out since, I think, the PS2. I think then it came out on the Wii, then it came out on the PS3, then the DS, then the PSP, and now it's coming to the Wii U.
Jesus Christ.
So, Monster Hunter 3, we look forward to seeing you again. Also, just something about that. Monster Hunter 3 for the Wii U is rated on GameFAQs as more anticipated than SimCIty this month.
That's fucking sad.
No shit. That tells you the niche of the sim games.
Yeah,
And you know
that's
SimCity's...
true. Yeah, sim games are. Well, all right. It's clearly a small community that's really hardcore because they keep buying all the German simulator games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know who's buying these German simulator games, but please stop it, because they keep making more. Like, every Monday, there's gonna be fucking, Cubicle Workers Sim 2013 coming out any day. I guarantee it. Because, like,
It probably exists.
well, because it's not even like, it's not even like farm sim or like railroad sim. It's like construction crane sim. And like, I'm gonna actually look it up while you're doing this, because, like, the sim games that they have are fucking craziness. Like, I can't really. Okay, it's Train Simulator 12 is what they released. So who made it? Okay, it's called Oran.
And
And let me see.
they have a garbage truck simulator?
That's
Why
what
have
I'm
I not
saying.
played this?
Yeah.
like that's what I'm saying. Like, they release the weirdest fucking games. Like it's like I'm not kidding. I think there's agricultural simulator where you basically run a plow. There's where the hell are they? They have so many weird fucking simulators.
Here we go.
They have a pro cycling manager.
Traffic Manager. Where
They have-
you do nothing but manage traffic in a city.
They have agricultural simulator historical farming edition.
Garden Simulator 2010.
Yeah, they have a river simulator.
Sales Simulator 5.
Here is a camping manager. Here's the Scania truck driving simulator. Like, who the fuck is buying these games? Because they're selling, like, they're getting good ratings on Steam.
And they get a ton of views on YouTube, too. People watch people play these boring fucking games.
Yeah, it's really...
And they love it. Bus Driving Simulator, Forklift Simulator, Bungee jumping simulator for the people that are too scared to do it themselves.
Oh, here's their big one. That's a Euro Truck Simulator 2 was one of their big ones.
That one just came. Garbage disposal simulator? Oh, I already said that one, sorry.
Yeah, it's just...
Anyway, yeah. But then you get a real AAA quality game like SimCIty come out, and apparently nobody takes it seriously.
Yeah, nobody cares. They're like, oh, well, I've already...
I'm fucking excited as hell for that game, though.
Oh,
Well, of
dude,
course.
so-
Why would they care? They have Garbage Truck Simulator.
That's my game of the...
Clearly.
It's true.
I'm just saying, no, I'm giving that my fucking game of the month right now. If anybody picks up any of these, pick up that one. Fuck the rest of these. All
I
right.
don't know. There's some...
There are some big ones, and I'll get into them here. Next one on the list is God of War Ascension for the PSP, I think. Or is that for the PS3?
I believe
That's
the
another
PS3.
prequel one, isn't it?
Yes. I do like... This God of War has a really good multiplayer that they worked into it, and I've been hearing good stuff about it. I think basically it's what you've come to... The single-player campaign is what you've come to know from God of War. They
Button
stuck
mashing
to...
followed by QTEs.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of QTEs. It's not like that, and that's one of the reasons that I'm not really interested in Tomb Raider. I'm not a fan of QTE games, and Tomb Raider could be called like QTE Simulator.
I'd play a game called QTE Simulator.
But like, yeah, I mean, it's just like that's what a QTE game is. It's fucking cutscene simulator. Like where you think you're watching a cutscene, then it's like, no, stupid, press A, and it's like, oh shit, I was getting popcorn. Like, so now, like, you know, it's just God of War isn't as heavy, and that they do have QuickTime events, but they're usually you earn those QuickTime events. They come after combos, you know. But it's got a lot of hack and slash elements to it. It's what everybody fucking knows from God of War.
Yeah.
It does look nice. I'm not going to argue about that. Like, they really went out of their way, and it really looks fucking good. And if you like just killing shit, that's going to be your game, you know? Kratos is still a fucking badass. There's no two ways about it. Kratos is a fucking badass.
Yep.
So that's one that if you do like the hack and slash, I recommend picking up.
Yep. Next one on the list is going to be another huge one for people who fucking like it, and nothing special at all for people who don't give a shit. StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's an expansion.
Well, that's
But,
still a big release, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've never gotten into StarCraft. I know a lot of people that fucking would
It's basically a
die if they don't
standalone
get it.
game. It just requires another game to play it.
Right, but I've heard that one of the reasons I don't like playing StarCraft is
I'm bad at it.
when I played the first StarCraft, I kind of blew through the campaign, and like I didn't have any. I don't even think the expansions were released the first time I played it, and like when I got around to the expansions, the community was so heavily PvP that I really felt like I was missing out. And then when I tried the PvP, I just didn't enjoy it. So when StarCraft 2 came out, and it was really putting a lot of focus on the PvP, plus I had never played the expansion, so I missed out on all the story. Like, I wasn't really into it, but from what I've been hearing about Heart of the Swarm is it's really friendly to people just coming in, as far as this campaign. And not friendly mechanic-wise, like, it is still challenging for people who have been playing the StarCraft series, but from a story perspective and a campaign perspective, it is really friendly if you're just jumping in. So if you are thinking of getting StarCraft, Heart of the Swarm expansion pack is a good place to jump in. Like, get StarCraft, play through the campaign, get Heart of the Swarm, you get a lot of bang for your buck out of it.
The only thing I wish is that they would release, like, say, if you buy this and you didn't own StarCraft 3 originally, you could get it for like 10 or 20 bucks even. Instead, you're going to have to go pay StarCraft 2.
No, I'm sure they're going to release a bundle set. Like, normally they release,
They usually don't at first, at least.
Right, they usually have to release like 3 expansions before they release a battle pack for it. But when they do, it's usually drastically reduced. So, you know, it might be worth the wait. But if you want to jump into StarCraft, now is not a bad time for it.
I think most of the people that are interested in StarCraft already have StarCraft 2, so...
That's true.
Anyways, the next one on the list as far as I'm taking these all off a poll, by the way. I'm doing them in order of people anticipating them. Next up is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for the 3DS.
Don't care.
I don't own a 3DS. I don't think anybody here does.
I don't care.
Yeah, nope.
Next
I
up
haven't
is the
picked up
big
a
one,
Mario game since 64.
Tomb Raider.
QTE Fest. I'm not interested. Like
It's
it
been
looks
getting really good reviews, though.
Yeah, but like people really enjoy that kind of setup, and like I never have. Like I just don't like press A. You know, like that bothers me. Like I think the scene where like I realized I wasn't gonna play this game was when they showed her scaling up the side of a cliff, and I realized that scaling was on rails and it was all QTE oriented. And I was like, I don't.
How big of a part of the game do you think that actually is, though?
Everything I've seen has some combat, and it's directly followed by a QTE event. Every single bit of gameplay footage I've seen has combat directly followed by a QTE event.
Well,
Like,
I guess it
it's
kind
like-
of...
She falls in a river, and you have to like press A, or you're gonna get skewered on a stick. And then she gets out of the river, and you shoot a couple people, and then she gets tied up, and you have to press A to cut through the ropes, and then you have to press A to swing from this thing, and then press X to do that. And then it's just like
I heard
I
from
don't
somebody
wanna
it was
do
linear,
that.
too.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. It's really fucking linear. So, and I mean, it's a Tomb Raider game. You have to expect as much, but like, I don't know. I expect in 2013, like that you can do better.
But the original Tomb Raiders kind of had almost a Metroidvania style per level, if you know what I'm talking about. Like every level, like you'd have to do a lot of exploring and go around. Yeah,
Right,
you wouldn't
well-
go back to them later like you would normally in a Metroidvania game, but
Yeah,
while
I was
you're in
gonna
that
say
level,
like
it's
that
pretty
was
open.
one of the problems I actually used to have with them, especially when they got to the Metroid Prime series, where it was like, "Hey, you beat this level. Now go back to this level again."
I'm not a fan of the genre, I'll be honest.
Well, I mean, Metroid Prime really changed everything and went to first person and all that jazz. But like,
I'm not talking
You
about
know-
Prime, I'm talking about Metroidvania, period. I don't like having
Oh,
to
I-
retrace that much.
I do. I mean, you know, that's.
Just not a
I
fan.
grew- But yeah, I mean, I'm not really too looking forward to it. It's probably going to be on sale in like a month on Steam, and I'll probably pick it up then and play through some. But for right now, it's not something I'm going to get on release.
And now the number one most anticipated game by about twice as much as Tomb Raider is BioShock Infinite. I didn't-
Bioshock.
I didn't
will
realize that
probably-
game was that anticipated.
I will probably get that. And if my webcam was on right now, you'd see that I have a BioShock Infinite poster directly behind me.
I did not
Like,
realize that game was that
I will be playing that.
anticipated.
Yeah, I will definitely be playing that game.
Like,
Um,
it just surprised me.
yeah, I don't know if I'll bother getting it on release just because there's so much shit I got going on this month with moving and whatnot. But as soon as I'm
I'll be
settled
busy
down,
playing SimCIty.
yeah. But no, like seriously, as soon as I'm settled down and like I'm ready to start playing regularly again, I'm getting BioShock Infinite and I'm gonna play the shit out of it. I'm gonna avoid every gameplay thing I could see of it. I don't want to spoil any of it for me. Like that.
I gotta
is a
make sure I
game-
play it before you and discuss it on the...
Oh, you think I
podcast.
won't walk out on a podcast? I will right
Wait,
the
you
fuck
need
out
we need to get
and
webcams before we make each other walk out because that'll make it better.
Yeah.
You just stare at my BioShock Infinite poster and my fucking what else do I have behind me? My Devil May Cry HD collection poster.
I'll be like one of those fucking the spoiler assholes that are all over like maybe League of Legends and shit where all of a sudden they'll say a spoiler. I'll just like tell you, hey Signal, watch this video I just made. And like at like 3:15 in the middle of the sentence I'll say, by the way, BioShock Infinite, this dude dies.
Elizabeth is really a
I
ghost.
can already picture Signal reaching through his computer through his, yeah.
Computer.
Dude, you think I won't drive to fucking KC to kill you, but I will. I'll take you out in your sleep.
I don't live in KC, motherfucker.
No, that's right, you're from KC.
I'm not from KC, motherfucker.
It's all the same. We're in St. Louis, whatever. You know,
Just,
fucking prairie dogs and armadillos, all the same.
Exactly.
But anyhow,
That is the entire list. I forgot the lowest rated one, which is Pandora's Tower. Ugh.
yeah, that doesn't really look that great.
Some Wii game, not Wii U, Wii game coming out.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that.
So that does it for the March releases.
Well, I mean, there's
Which
there's
one-
a couple other releases that are going to be coming down.
Well, that's all for this poll that I'm looking at. I know there's more, but these were the 12 most anticipated, apparently.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because I mean,
I know like Ghost Recon, no, Sniper Ghost Warrior is
yeah,
coming
Ghost Warrior
out.
2.
I'm sure there's a few more, but
Yeah, Showdown Effect is coming out this week, I think.
I did not look at Steam. That would be smart.
Sang Freud is coming out this week. Or not this week. I think it's coming out later in the month. Sang Freud, I'm probably going to end up giving a run.
Oh, and just a quick note, since we're talking about releases, Blade Symphony has pretty much gone into open beta now, so if you go pre-order the game, you're given a beta key. That's another one you could get right now.
Right. So
I'm gonna
yeah,
go
if you
post that everywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to make a video about it soon.
Oh man, I can't wait till next month.
What's next month?
Shoot Mania Storm comes out.
Yeah. About that. Let's see. On Steam for this
The
month
look on
they have...
Shig's face. Well, this is awkward.
No, I'm just changing the subject because we don't need to talk about Shoot Mania. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much all the big releases for this month.
Yeah.
We have anything else we want to go over really quick before we wrap up?
I
Not
mean,
really.
not really. I mean, there's a few stories we can get into, but oh, there is one thing I did want to discuss before we go. And that's a rumor that has been going around. It's pretty much confirmed that all of the StarCraft 2 and League of Legends pro teams are already aware of. IPL 6 is probably not going to happen.
Oh.
Which is kind of big, because it's been the biggest gaming event of the year for the past couple years.
Did they have any insight as to why?
No, I haven't heard why yet. I've just heard that it's not going to happen. And the manager for Team Liquid, their StarCraft team, has already come out and said it's probably not happening. Most teams are already setting up something else. They're not going to be planning their trip out there. So, and I think it's a weird situation. Like, IGN was sold to 1UP. So I think that has something to do with it, because 1UP hasn't announced anything for the tournament, and like
So
by now they should have.
You don't think it has anything to do with like lack of viewers and in interest?
No, what do you
I was
know?
gonna say, no, I know exactly. That's
no,
why
no.
it kind of shocked me when you said that.
No, I have a feeling that 1UP is probably going to let it go and then maybe bring out something new. Maybe they're going for something bigger. Maybe they're going to announce later in the year there's going to be like a bigger tournament that's going to involve more games. Because IPL 5 consisted of League of Legends, StarCraft, and Shoot Mania last year.
Where the fuck did Shoot Mania come? Let's be honest.
I don't know.
Really?
Like-
League of Legends, StarCraft, and fucking Shoot Mania?
I know. But like, so, you know,
Put in
maybe
Counter-Strike if
maybe
you don't have
1UP
anything else.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe 1UP is going to turn around and be like, all right, well, we're going to put CSGO on there and fucking, Dota 2, which
Throw
I
a
really
fighting
doubt.
game in there.
Dude, I'd love for them to fucking put Skullgirls in that shit.
Is that is that considered the most competitive, most
Or-
balanced game?
Yeah, it is, but nobody plays it. Probably because it's fucking, right now, I
characters?
believe Go Girls. No, Skullgirls is, are they PSN or Xbox Live?
PSN.
PSN?
Really
Yes.
quick,
Yeah.
did you when I showed you that Kickstarter? Did you scroll down and look at that image that showed all the blacked out character ideas they had?
Yeah, I did.
They had about like a roster of 30 characters they eventually plan on releasing.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing. I don't think it's gonna take off until they get the PC port going.
And once they get the PC port, I'm gonna have to go buy a new.
Well, I think
Gamepad.
honestly, like for fighting games right
I
now,
won't play that on a keyboard.
I think the reason that it's not gonna be able to. It unfortunately, I hate to say it because I really do think it's a great game and they did a great job with it. It's not gonna be able to edge its way in to the fighting arena on big stages because of the fact that next month is the release of Injustice.
Yeah, that's gonna.
And that's a fucking NetherRealm game with DC properties.
That's getting
and
a ton of publicity.
Yeah, they've been hyping it, and it's getting dropped for PS3, 360, Wii U, and like that's gonna be really difficult to overshadow.
Speaking of Injustice, did you see the matchups for this week?
No, I didn't.
All right, well, let's get
No.
let's get your
Now
votes
I'm
in here. Let's
checking.
go.
Now I'm checking to see who this week's matchups
Superman versus Sinestro.
are. Oh, that's the second round.
Superman. No, it's the first round still. It's the fourth. It's the fourth part of
Superman
the.
already fought, didn't
No,
he?
he hasn't. This is his first time appearing.
Oh.
Superman versus Sinestro. And actually, they've announced the winner. Superman won, obviously. And match
Okay,
2.
yeah, no, that was last week. Last week was Aquaman, Cyborg, Green Lantern, Solomon.
Yeah,
Right?
this week. They haven't released the next
You're right,
the
you're right.
quarterfinals
No,
yet.
you're right.
And then they had Green Arrow versus Hawkgirl.
Right, so then after this, it goes into the quarterfinals.
I was actually shooting for Hawkgirl.
Yeah, Green Arrow, they have a TV show of it right now, which actually isn't terrible.
Yeah, I watched like the first 8 episodes of it, I think. I
Yeah,
haven't
it's pretty
caught
good.
up yet.
Pretty good.
But yeah, the first bracket of that's done. It's definitely something kind of cool. I like that they're doing that with it.
Yeah,
I've made sure I
it's a
voted
good way
every
to
week.
publicize it.
Yeah.
I didn't vote because that's stupid. But
Well, I'm enjoyed it, and I got a free background for my PS3, motherfucker.
suck it. I don't know. I'm looking forward to Batman versus Wonder Woman.
I'm not, because I know Batman's gonna win.
And then Flash versus the Joker is going to be really good.
I think that it's gonna end up being Superman versus Batman. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who'd win in the comments. It's all a popularity contest.
Yeah.
It's like, this is basically superhero prom queen edition.
Well, we already know who would win in a fight in Superman versus Batman because that should have happened.
I actually didn't see who won it.
You never read that book?
I do not believe so.
Yeah, Batman totally won.
Yeah.
Batman
can
has
see
a
it.
contingency plan to
I
do
wanna
with
see
every
this now.
major superhero in the
I
DC.
almost really want to read it now.
So he will totally win. But, I mean, honestly, Injustice, I'm going to play that game. I'm not going to lie. Because I'm a comic book nerd. I you know.
You're going to play it on Xbox too, aren't you?
Yeah, probably.
Don't have an Xbox. Oh well.
And the other reason is, as imbalanced as their fucking games can be, and they've turned imbalance into a fucking art form, NetherRealm makes fun games.
Do you think that these consoles will ever fucking suck it up and let you do cross-platform with each other?
No. No, absolutely not.
I would think that would increase sales, though.
Yeah, of course it would. But they
Then
won't
why
do
don't they?
They will not do that.
Why? What's the reasoning?
The reasoning is because if you can play cross console, then there's no reason for all of your friends to have the same system.
Fair enough, I guess, but most people won't buy a system for Injustice.
No, but they'll buy a system for a metric fuck ton of games, and if all games are doing cross platform after a while, then there's no reason for all your friends to have the same console.
They still have their exclusives. I thought that was always the reason, but let's not get into that. We're pretty much done for the day.
All right.
Yep.
Because we didn't actually walk in with anything to talk about, so I'm glad we
Yeah,
lasted
this has
2
been a
hours.
slow
We
fucking
managed
week
to
for me.
bullshit our way through 2 hours.
Haha,
Yes.
got you all. Fuck you. See you next week. Mosen, sign us off.
All right, guys. I'm Mosen Wraith with Signal Warden and Shiggy, and thank you for
Shiggy?
tuning in. Yes, Shiggy. Thank you for tuning into our podcast this week. See you guys next week.
Have fun,
Always on the
kids.
same channel, 10 o'clock Eastern on Saturdays.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Ta-da-da!